Howdy, patrons. Here we are, wanting to get things going as soon as possible.
Yay.
For reasons. So, quick question. Do we have a quota on how many dad jokes we're supposed to do per part?
No, we do not.
Okay, so
And
we
are
can
we
make as
live on
many
YouTube?
as possible. Yeah.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
One moment. Yes. Although it says WGO. Wait. Nope, that's 20 hours ago. Here's the live. Normally the first thing I see is...
We're enlisted. There we go. Save. Switch to public. Putting this in here.
There's the announcement. Look at you. Look at it go. Okay. Figured I'd check.
See, this is why we do a pre-show. So for all you patrons, this is a two-parter. So, all right, let me get a timer out. Clock. Timers. We want 45 minutes, right?
Sure.
All right, 45 minutes on the
timing. Block. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
We're gonna try something we haven't done in years.
Let's
be timely.
I set a timer. So, 3 and a 2. Would you like to support Cubs Out Loud? One way is to join us over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, patrons get early access to our shows, the pre and post show, and various other rewards. You can learn more at patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. Thanks to all our patrons for their support in making this podcast. It's Sunday, June 7th, 2026. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Everyone else is thinking it, and I just say it.
Welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Internal Link, episode number 827. And hey, Daddy.
Yes. I figured I should answer. I'm the oldest bitch of the bunch of us, so.
That's totally fair.
See?
I'm not arguing any of this.
Yep.
I'm not going to say a word.
He's the daddy of the daddies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see you.
You need to make sure to add the...
Yeah, best double check which fucking fan you grab over there.
That's the problem with having them both right there. I normally should put... Never mind.
And anyway, they look the same.
Yeah.
Well, they should both be right there so they're within reach. You just need to make sure you're going...
Yeah.
Maybe you need to have one on each side.
Way. Yeah, I should. But that means I'd have to have something over here or some way to make it happen over here. And I don't have that.
Unless you're having trouble with the memory, and then maybe it's just more daddy-ish. I don't know.
Yeah. We are getting up there in
Where it's
age.
going. I mean, I'm the only one. I'm the youngest, and I had the whitest beard. I'm not saying
That's
I'm the
okay,
only
though.
one with a white beard, just the whitest.
I'm just going to put this PSA out there that you can't take passive tops anywhere.
It's fair.
Damn, bitch.
Fair. No. Get that fact get that fact straight out. Get that fact straight out. No, I'm going to totally agree with that.
Uh-huh.
All right. New thing, new present. Next present, I need a fact fan to go with my shade fan, just so I can also appropriately fan up.
Oh,
I mean,
that got me.
I feel like this is what that was,
Mhm.
but you know.
Yeah, you see that said it all full of love.
Oh.
All right, listen up, kids. It's
Mhm.
2026. Father's Day is coming up soon, in a couple of weeks. And I feel like there's been a shift or a change. Prior to 2020, I personally feel like the concept of daddy was different than where we are today. So we're going to do a two-parter. We're going to talk about the past, like the far past, and then like kind of the recent past to now. So this is the far past. So this is us with the old man get off my lawn probably attitude of things. Because so this is what I was thinking about is like when I was growing up and we talked about daddies. Like daddies is in the gay culture, like older men archetype concept. I feel like the vision or the illusion or the label, like the imagery, the concept was different than where we are today. So because we all came out and grew up into adulthood in the 90s, what did we think was a daddy at the time? Because we were youngins. Like we all came out kind of around the same age. So, and the reason I point that out is like it's a very different perspective if any of us were older and came out older than younger. Like there's something to be said for your experience of accepting who you are and being authentic to who you are and like choosing your label and the pace that you go to. All of that said, like we did it in our 20s, late teens into the 20s. So
I did
I
a
feel
lot
like
when I was in my early 20s, even my late 20s.
So I feel like the idea of daddy was something different. And here's where my perspective was. I was not interested in anybody that would be considered a daddy or labeled a daddy. For me, I had this idea that I wanted to be with somebody who was mature, but not that mature.
Roughly right around your same age. Maybe a tad bit older, but not too old.
Like maturity was a big piece of it. That's why I paused. I was like, there wasn't many 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds that I've really felt were mature or had their shit together.
Maybe you had like the 30s, maybe in the max age range.
Right. Which is wild because I'm sure there are like 20-year-olds right now that are like looking at 30-year-olds and being like, yes, daddy. And I'd be like, no. That's just a decade. That doesn't qualify. Damon, I know you feel very differently probably.
It's so interesting.
What was your keep in perspective here?
Yeah, I'm going back to like, the past.
Your original thought of what daddy was.
Right. So like weirdly enough, well not weirdly enough. Like when I saw the prompt for this, my first thought was to go back to like sitcom dads and not daddies per se, but more like the sitcom dad, the father figure, the very much like that sort of like mentality. The nurturing is not the word, but like the parent.
Phil.
Yeah, like the like that kind of like feel about it.
The dad
but
from
then
Family Matters.
Yeah. Carl Winslow, Uncle Phil, like you said. Gosh, weirdly enough,
Dan,
like John
Roseanne.
Goodman.
Mm.
Yeah.
John Goodman. Like there's some like those are some like people that come to mind that fit into that bare older father figure kind
Val
of
Borland,
mentality. Yeah. And however,
Grizzly Adams.
yeah. Not for me per se.
Well,
I
no,
didn't know
no, no,
Grizzly
but
Adams until
kind of
I wasn't
general type.
yeah. I didn't know Grizzly Adams until I was already gay. Like that. Like but yes, that kind of type.
He was already drained the D and was like, oh, that one's nice.
Yeah. But like I will say my type has almost always been older overall. Like I think I remember like being around guys my age and feeling out of place in a way
Mm.
and get it because I'm like you, Gary. I like a maturity level that I just wasn't getting. And I came out in college. So like I was thinking, oh, these college guys will be like me and like smart and intelligent and mature and know what they want to do out in their lives and all that shit. Nope, not a single fucking one. Well, that's not true. I did
No.
meet a couple, but like for the most part, we were young, dumb, and full of cup. Like let's just call it what it is. And I tended, excuse me, to find more enjoyment out of people who were older than me. But like to the point of the prompt, I wouldn't necessarily have called them daddies. They were just older men. They were just older. Sometimes quite a bit older, depending on what it was. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm curious to know if others would have thought of them as daddies if you didn't.
Well, that's the thing. I think some probably would have.
Okay.
I think a lot of people probably would have thought of some of them, not all of them. And actually, some of them, believe it, yeah, some of them probably were fathers, like actual like fathers, like had children.
Sorry.
That was a sound.
that was my 30s and 40s. That was like, oh, hello, virility.
Yeah.
You really a daddy? I'm very interested. But
it was
yeah.
Go ahead. But it was just very much the whole concept. Like I mean, so just to put it in perspective, I'll use it as perspective. When I met Jim, I was 24 and he was 40. Like we have a 16-ish year like age difference between the two of us.
Okay.
Would he have been considered a daddy then? I think so. I mean, definitely more so now.
Right.
But like, there's something to me that if I, like you said, I don't know, I wouldn't have known the word, the concept. I don't know if it was the same back then. But what I agree with you that some of the guys that I was with or dating or not dating, I didn't date a lot of what I would call a daddy. I did tend to date older, but I did meet a lot of people that were older and would be considered daddies. Because that's what I tended to find myself more attracted to. Whether it was short term, random hookup, that kind of thing. But not so much. I didn't get a lot of long term. I'm trying to think about the guys I actively dated in college, and I'm like, there's really only one that comes to mind, and that was actually two, and he was a father, but he was, I think in his 30s. Pretty sure he was in his 30s.
So what I just realized is, for me, there was a distinction between who I hooked up or played with versus who I wanted to date. I didn't have an interest in like people too far out of my range of age, like probably within about 5, 6, maybe 7 years. Like maturity was a big thing when it came to like the prospect of like someone to have a relationship with or to date. When it came to hooking up, there was an allure to an older man, to a certain point, because there was a part of me that was like, you probably know through experience what you like. So, and if you think I can give that to you, I'm down. So,
Yeah. That was it. That was it. It was the experience. It was a lot of like, except for the most part, knowing what they wanted and being able to express what they want
Mhm.
without pretenses or what we would call whateverisms, like, sure, whatever kind of thing. There was never much that. It was very much
Yeah.
I like you. I want to be with you. Let's do something. And
I think for me, I connotated daddy with sugar daddy a lot when I was younger.
That's fair.
Like when I was in my 20s, that's probably the closest thing I would have thought of. Like I'm thinking back on like when I was in college, when I graduated college, like if there had been an older man that was kind of interested in me, that's the most likely thing I would have associated. But it's not the same thing. But in my mindset, it kind of was. Like it was an older man that was like had his life together and was interested in me. And there's a part of me that kind of wasn't interested in being taken care of. That's how my brain assessed it, like what a sugar daddy would do. And I was like, I don't want that. Like, I want to be recognized as my own independent person and not be reliant on another individual. And I realize that's like one viewpoint and it's not accurate or fair, because I've known a decent amount of what I don't even know if anybody calls them this anymore, like May December relationships where there was a bit of an age difference and how it seemed that perhaps the younger individual in the relationship was quote unquote kept. In fact, I was just at an event today and saw a couple that's vastly separated in terms of their age and difference. And I kind of wonder from time to time if people see them that way or if we've progressed from where we were before in that perspective. I don't know.
And I just was looking for sex. Age was unimportant, but I would. Jeez, excuse me. But I think I got more when I started getting into the bear community. I liked the kind of classification labels where you could label someone, at least from your perspective, to kind of as a way of describing who or what they are. So daddy to me, one, I didn't care if I was having sex, trying to have a relationship with anybody my age or older, much older or whatever. But daddy always for me was a combination of age and temperament. So if they were like 10 years older than me, they're most likely going to be falling into the daddy range. Quite frequently, salt and pepper, at least in the beard, not necessarily. More of mentorship, just like the wiser person who wants who's there to guide the hand of a young cub. Or in my case at the time, because I was skinny and didn't know about certain other things, considered myself a puppy, as in the otter version of a cub. Otter pup.
Mm-hmm.
So that sort of, and that kind of hierarchy where you have like you have the bear, then you have the cub, which is younger. And daddies are a type usually in the bear range that are typically older or have this more father figure-esque. Like when I think daddy, I think of an actual dad type temperament.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be like super old. They could be the 30s, 40s, whatever. Probably not in the 20s range. That was totally not. I couldn't imagine anybody who's 20, maybe 29, but that might be stretching it. Depending on their temperament and how they act, they may still be like super fun, fun people and silly and everything, but still have that kind of like actual dad-esque background attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the people who I felt were daddies, but always older. Usually much older than I was.
Yeah.
No one around my age. Around my age, somebody might. I don't think I ever ran into anybody who was around my age that would have had a daddy temperament. So I always classify these people as they've been around the block. They know, they've had the experience. They have some wisdom, quote unquote. But whenever I hear daddies, I always think that. Always tending to be older. Age is always a factor in that. And then I always thought you would you're a cub in your 20s, and then by the time you're 50s, no matter what, you're a bear.
Mm-hmm.
So this like gradient, this evolution in naming categorization.
Gradient.
Yeah, it's just
No.
You move from
Gray.
one thing to another, right?
Gray.
Gradient.
Sorry, I was doing that.
All right, dad joke counter 1.
It's pretty late in the episode for it, actually.
That's fair. I couldn't come up with one right away at the beginning.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But yeah, for me, it's just it was a very flexible definition because there was definitely people I was around and played with who I definitely classify as a daddy, but it was a dark hair and no salt and pepper. But people age differently. One example is just look at us. I'm the youngest, and I've got the most gray.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to sound really inappropriate. If anybody knows anything, we all knew it wasn't going to be Damon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're there. Don't get me wrong.
No, we're not.
Them.
We're not saying you're not having anything. Just that you're having less.
A little hard to see. I am very right now, very, very, very pepper with like.
If you could zoom in.
You have
look
to zoom
really
in.
closely on
really
your phone.
Close. Yeah.
Or make sure you're watching on your 55-inch or higher screen TV, and just get right up there.
Yeah.
Oh no,
they're there.
There it is. I can see it.
Yeah.
But no.
Kind of like I keep looking at the. But anywho,
a little there.
You can stop now.
So,
but
here's what
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to ask, were there preconceived ideas about older guys as an object of desire? And here's why I ask. A lot of my impressions at a young age came from the media, not from the community. I didn't have that much involvement. And when I came out, I came out of college. I was away at college. So, like, it was a very skewed, biased environment. I was around a whole lot of people that were my age. I didn't have a lot of experience with people that were older. So even when I came home and I went out to the club, eventually when I was of age, like, it, most of the folks that went out were younger. So I never really had the perception of older individuals that could potentially be an object of desire. And a lot of my understanding, honestly, came from adult media. And of course, that's incredibly skewed because most of them, if there were any, which was probably pretty rare back then, were, not called daddies. They were probably called grandpas. Like, it was very much a silver, white hair, gray hair kind of like focus or marketing or promotion. That was kind of my perception. It's like there was this, and okay, just bear with me. I feel like this has to be said.
Yeah,
I came about it in the 90s, and when I came out, we were just getting into the height of the AIDS crisis of the epidemic. So the reality is, I have to say, maybe there weren't that many older gay men around to recognize or to know, because we'd already been 10 to 15, 17, 18 years into losing people who didn't get the opportunity to become older or, weren't around because we lost them. So I just wanted to own that and recognize it. As I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, there could have been a real reason why, and that just could have simply been numbers.
Right.
And also location.
Interesting.
Because
yeah.
Because like I was thinking about this as you were talking about it. It was like, because I ran into a lot of what we would call daddy bears in my socialization with other bears, because I went to the North Country Bears bear coffee and bear dinners on Wednesdays. I would literally drive an hour and a half from Rochester, Minnesota, up to the Twin Cities to go hang out with other gay bears. And because it was coffee and dinner, it wasn't a club setting. And this was before I turned 21. It provided a more broader group of people, or maybe even leaning a bit older, just because of the type of event that it was. Well, youngers won't necessarily as often go to the coffee and dinner, just social hours. There were a few younger, but most of the time they skewed on the older end of the spectrum. And I think a lot of those people I really appreciate. In fact, when I did move to the Twin Cities, I moved in with one of the people I met there, and he was, I think he's 10 years older than I am, or something. That was a boyfriend, just friend, etc. But I think because of the way I interacted with the community, my introduction to it before I was of legal age to go to the bars, I got more exposure to real daddies at the time.
Right.
And then that's because of where it was and my experience with it. Well, yours may be something else. Like you were saying, you were going to the clubs. Clubs probably skewed younger than the older, etc.
Sure.
Also in Minnesota, so Minnesota's weird. Not as weird as Austin, but
Yeah. I think on a similar vein, so a lot of my coming out and experiencing other people and socialization was through internet. Um, so for me, I met a lot of people online. I wasn't really as engaged socially, but I also like I'll put it like this: I went to a college in the middle of like in southeast Kentucky, and it was a dry count. It was a dry county. It was a dry campus. So there was no like bar club kind of thing. There were some, but they were hour plus away. I don't drive, haha. So so I'm not doing um, the Jeff like driving an hour plus away. And the only times I really experienced socialization was usually during like the like winter and summer breaks when I was back home. And I would go out like, but I most of my interactions were with guys online. Now, what that meant was, in a lot of ways, I had a lot of opportunities to see and meet a lot of different people. However, I tended to meet older men. I tended to meet like guys like in their 30s when I was in my late teens, 20s. Um, and I would go out with them. One of the ones that just popped in my head, um, my first year away from like at school, I met this older gentleman who he was, I think, almost 20 years older than me. I'm thinking at the time. He tended to enjoy younger men, and but super nice, super friendly. We had fun, obviously, um, but the maturity factor wasn't quite there. That was sort of the weird part about him. He was older. He had been married and had I think had a child and all that stuff, and but he came out and then like really like started enjoying life, and that's how we found each other online, and then we met each other, and then we met other people, and it was just very interesting to me how I finally got to see him and meet him and spend time with him because he actually lived in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky. So we got to spend more off of that summer often together. Um, he started dating a couple of people, and then they were in a triad. They wouldn't have called it a triad back then. They would have probably called it like a threesome. Um, and then the he met one guy, and then they met another guy, and they became a triad, and then those two guys separated off and with each other. So you have that whole classic story, and he was devastated, and it was so wild to me. This man who I considered like older and mature and adult,
Hmm.
and I'm literally having to be the person that he um like helps him through it. Like when like, hey, I was kind of looking for this to be the opposite thing. Like I was expecting you to be my mentor and us to kind of do like me to be like you to help me socialize and get more engaged. No, that wasn't what happened. Yeah. But it's through him and through like internet, I found a lot of different people. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of my experiences were through meeting older gentlemen and going out with them to places, and kind of similar to what Jeff was talking about, like going to places with older people as opposed to spending time in the spaces where the age skewed younger. I think helped in a way, but again, I don't. It was what I was attracted to, yes, but I don't think it was. There wasn't a daddy word for it. I think it was just the maturity and the mentorship that really helped. Like those two words, Jeff, that you mentioned are the ones that came to mind. Like the temperament
Mhm.
and the mentorship were the two like words. I'm like, yeah, that's why I think I was more attracted to most of the time. And
Right.
some and experience.
Fair. So I guess my other thought then was, do we think or view men labeled as daddies a certain way in the past? Like, did we, like, we already talked about maturity and that kind of stuff. Like, did we consider them in a certain viewpoint? Like, I will say this. When I was talking about like the sugar daddy thing, another thing that came to mind, which is not a positive, and I will own this, was that I kind of thought of them a little bit as pariahs. Like, kind of, this isn't the right way to say it, but like creepy old men.
Mm-hmm.
And to Jeff's point, I think it's about who you were around, like the environment, the community, the like, as to how you get these perceptions or how you view things.
Have either of you heard the term chicken hawk?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was my
Wait, but the question remains: was you ever the chicken?
who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yeah. God, yes.
Even like,
Um,
I'm chicken, take me away.
I had a few people that very much were like very interested in me because I was one of the younger ones that was actually hanging around, quote unquote, with people who were older. When I would go out, I tended to be with people who were older than me. Sometimes, like I said, 10+ years older than me. And it did garner some interest from people. That's how I learned the phrase chicken hawk, was because I was out with some other people and they were like, look out for that one. That one's a chicken hawk. And I was like, what does that mean? And they explained it.
Uh,
And I was like, oh.
well, that means they liked you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they didn't like you, they would have been like, "You'll find out," and then they just walk away.
Right. No, I got warned, as it were, which I do appreciate. Again, that's where that maturity lies, children. Like, we don't always like. There is something to be said about learning to lessen yourself through your own experience, but sometimes there's a maturity that comes into like giving a gentle warning, not pushing someone away, but just like saying, "Hey, be careful," for sure. But
I suppose the term chicken hawk, at least maybe we're going into nowadays, is basically a daddy who will take advantage of you.
mm-hmm.
So probably
Yeah.
not really very much of daddy.
Yeah.
Well, right, and I think that's a matter of perception. You know, what is the definition? How do you view somebody? And there's a big difference between me giving them that label and them self-selecting the label.
Mm.
I think that those are big
Oh.
aspects of things to be aware of when it comes to that kind of
Right.
concept. So I agree with you, like them saying or calling, out that there's a chicken hawk is a way to give you recognition of something, to be aware of.
Yeah. And like reading your question, like, do we think or view men labeled as daddies a certain way in the past? I think I agree. There was a label in a way, like chicken hawk was like the one that popped in my head immediately, but the other one was a bit of you had to worry about being taken advantage of in a way. Um, while sometimes we're more mature, um, sometimes that maturity came with a um, level of our interest in like being superior or feeling superior in a way, and that can be difficult to overlook.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the thoughts of like older men and all that, and I've met a few guys who were older and were also, for lack of a better phrase, well-to-do. They had like the money. They had good money. I'll put it like that. And my worry was always that they were looking for something like you said, like a sugar dad. They were looking for a sugar baby, someone that was willing and wanting to like for them to wine and dine and do whatever they wanted with. And I'm like you, Gary. I was very much not that. I very much wanted to be my own person, and I didn't like the idea of someone being financially, especially over me.
Well, right, and here's the thing I want to make clear for folks is if this is a dynamic that works for the parties involved, so be it.
Yeah,
I just
True
knew
that.
for me it was something that I did not want. I also just wanted to avoid the bullshit. If for
Yeah.
some reason it really was imbalanced in like they made a lot of money and I didn't, and they paid for a lot of things and I didn't, like I didn't want to deal with the societal or community bullshit calling that out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Calling me,
You did
like
not.
a daddy fucker or a daddy chaser or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't want to be that. You didn't want to have that label of being a sugar baby, as it were.
Mhm.
No one. I don't think we wanted to have that label pressed on us of someone that is intentionally using someone because they have money, or gold digger, as some of the other words that we would call it. Like that, there was something there. I'm not saying it happens, but again, like Gary said, if there is as I was pointing up ahead, consensual, like agreement made where someone is, more like making more than the other person, and there's some understanding involved in that, then by all means, like move forward and enjoy the life you have together.
That's
But
exactly what I would love. You're saying I don't want to be referred to as a sugar baby. I'm like, I'd love to be in that position. Like,
I mean,
but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'm in a little bit of a different place in my life now. Here's my perspective on it. If there's somebody out there who wants to gift me things that I need, things that I want, things that I desire, whether it be physical things and or monetary, I am not above that. We also live in a world in which I constantly see people posting and requesting assistance. So I am not that person. So that's why I don't put that energy out there or put those things out there. But if y'all are like looking for ways to make investments and to be a little philanthropist on the DL, you can just get in my DMs. Just saying.
Oh, we all love a little gift. That's all fine. That's fine.
I mean, it don't
All
have
right.
to be little. It could be big. It takes some work
all right, found it.
to accept it.
This
But
entire time, you asked the question about the definition.
okay.
So now, keep in mind, this is the definition of a daddy bear coming from the Bear Handbook by Ray Kampf.
Hmm.
In the in the back, talking about your vocabulary, he says, "Daddy bear, he who is closer to Christmas in the May-December romance. Gray hair is required." Now, keep in mind, there's also Papa Bear, an older bear with white hair and beard, has an increased sex drive.
Hey.
We've all met the Papa Bear. at the bear run.
This is
Or the bear
official. This
event.
is I looked at the bear handbook. This is like the Cub Scouts handbook, the Boy Scouts handbook. This is should be required reading for anybody who is part of the bear culture. However, it definitely needs an update.
It's definitely dated for sure. For sure.
We I don't know. Is Ray still alive? I don't know. But I really think somebody should write an ebook of the the updated bear handbook.
Wow.
I mean, in general, this is supposed to be a parody, so not meant to necessarily be taken seriously.
Right.
But,
No, I get it. That's fair.
but seriously, be somebody out there who's good at writing. Maybe did you read a new updated version of this?
Originally
Modern day.
published in 2000.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I love this book. I love it so much. I'm never letting this leave my possession ever again.
So what I'm thinking is we need a second edition for like the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Mm.
We know a writer, don't we?
I mean, we know a few.
Whether
or not it's a project that they're interested in remains to be seen.
This would be great.
Wow.
Maybe that should be my new writing project. Basically, take this book and go through and just make things like it talks about Bear 411, which I don't think any book should talk about ever again.
I think there's a time and a place for historical context of things.
Yeah, it's like there was this one called Bear 411 that everybody liked. Big question mark there. Anyways.
Crickets.
It has a sordid history with us, so we'll just leave it like that.
Anyways. Are we done? Think that's a good place to stop?
Yeah.
I think so. I think, there was a time and a place, there was a perception of what daddies were. And I do think it's changed. And how will be discussed in part 2 next week.
And because of that, and we really want to get into recording part 2. Find our website, cubsoutloud.com, cubsoutloud@gmail.com, 361-COL-TALK. Blue Sky, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube at Cubs Out Loud. Join our entourage chat, bit.ly/telegram-COL. Google Calendar, bit.ly/calendar-COL. Our merch store at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud. Some of the designs were designed by Smash. You can find more of his work at tpublic.com/user/smashingthebear. Become a patron at patreon.com/cubsoutloud or send us a donation at paypal.me/cubsoutloud. We're on the various podcasting platforms. You can find me anywhere on the internet as BoxCub.
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79 on most related sites, like Fire Bear Horn. Or you can find me as PupUmbra79 on Blue Sky. That Blue Sky is not safe for work. For safe for work stuff, you want DMAGamer79 on Blue Sky and TikTok. Getty?
If you wait to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GareBear73.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Be good to Daddy.
Yeah. You're muted.
You're muted.
We can't hear you
Yeah.
at all.
I really should reread this and make like get like a post-it notes and put in things for like things I could quickly look up, such as trying to find, which took me about like 5 minutes to find, where he had just a definition of daddy bear.
Mm.
And really, I should have just looked in the backwards, which talks about the vernacular.
Mm.
Fair. Very fair.
There was a total of, with that pun, there was a total of 4 dad jokes. And I'm going to use a one of those.